All right, so this is the final video in the LinkedIn strategy video series so that you can make yourself more visible when creating and networking with other people. And so before we move into the final section, I wanted to just reflect really quickly over parts 1 and 2. We discussed how to make yourself a little more visible. We discussed how your profile is your first impression. We talked about how important it is to make sure that your profile, everything in that about section actually aligns with the role that you're looking for, how to set up those job titles, what it looks like really when you're setting it up to tell the story of who you are and what position you want. We also talked about how it's not just a profile page. It's not just a social media page, but it actually is a way for you to state what it is you're looking for because recruiters use the page to scan. We talked about it being a scanning tool for recruiters and companies that are looking to hire people with your qualifications potentially, and how they look for specific people who align with their job description. And that kind of took us into part 2, where we talked about how it was important for you to really understand how recruiters navigate on the back end side of the system. And so I walked you through, I showed you a video which showed you how recruiters navigate using the system, how we kind of sort and narrow down the people we are looking for, whether or not those people are engaged with the platform, and what that looks like, how having a reference or knowing someone within those companies can actually drive you to the front of the line. So we talked about a lot of language alignment, a whole lot of things. If you have missed parts 1 and 2, you may want to go back to view that information. But right now, part 3, we are going to really focus on engagement, a little more visibility, and a little bit about networking. I'm going to give you guys a tool on the website that's going to help kind of coach you through the conversations for networking. Because if you're like me, you don't like doing cold calls, which is a part of sales. The reason I can't get into sales is because I don't like making initial contact with anyone. And it's the same thing for networking. You have to be comfortable enough to really sell yourself when you're introducing yourself to someone. And so in that same regard, it's the same with networking, whether you're virtual or live. Right? If you're reaching out to someone you don't know, you have to really be able to quickly tell them who you are and why you're important for them to know. So we'll touch on that just a little bit, and there will be tools on the website for you guys. So what I'm going to do next is open up my inbox, because remember, I made a dummy page to walk you guys through setting up your profiles. And so if you set it up appropriately, you should have been receiving some emails about jobs that you're probably qualified for. And if your inbox looks like my inbox, it is absolutely crazy. So we're going to go over to the inbox first, and then we're going to go to the account. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. And what you will see is that from the time we created this dummy profile until today, there are a lot of positions that have been hitting my inbox for jobs that apparently I'm qualified for based on the information on the profile. So there's a lot going on. People are messaging, just a lot of junk mail also. So, things that we have to kind of look for. But we're going to go ahead and log into the system so that you can actually see what it looks like when we go in to apply for some of these jobs. So the first thing we see when I log into my screen is this back office page where my newsfeed is. And the first notification from LinkedIn is telling me that I can get 10 times more recruiter views with at least 10 connections. Remember, I don't have any connections because this is a dummy page. I don't want to connect with anyone on here because I'm going to probably delete it or just use it for training purposes. But if there are people that you know within your network, for me, for example, if you wanted to go to my page and connect with me, by all means, you can. If there are other professionals that you know, people at your church, people at your child's school, whoever you know who has a LinkedIn profile, you're going to want to go ahead and get connected with them, because that's how these kind of relationships get built so that you can connect with the right people for the roles that you want. So it's telling me that it's asking me to upload contacts, update my profile. Now let's go look at the profile really quickly just to see where we left off. So it looks like that maybe, okay, I have one experience and I have my header, right? My tagline. So based on that information, it's giving me recommendations for all of these jobs that it's saying I'm qualified for. But if I wanted to search for a job, then I would just go here. Now, if I look back at one of these positions, let's say this VP position. Let me go ahead and click this and we'll see it open up. Okay, so here's all of the positions that they have emailed me, right? So if I wanted to apply for this role, this little arrow pointing up this way means that I have to go to the company website. If I click here, it's going to take me to the company website to apply. If you see something that says easy apply, that means you can apply directly within the sites. You don't have to go to the company website. If you have been following me long enough, then you already know that my personal recommendation is to always go to the company website. That is where you want to go to make sure that you're applying for jobs that are actively listed. Sometimes we don't always get to update LinkedIn. And so if you apply through LinkedIn, it's almost like a waste of time if we haven't updated that the position has been filled. And sometimes that happens. So do yourself a favor, go directly to the company website and apply for jobs. Now, it may be pulling this one in just because the name is similar to what's on my what's on my profile page. I'm not sure. But to apply is easy. Here, you will just click here. It'll take you to the company website and you would apply. If I wanted to apply via Easy Apply, I would click that filter. And you can say within the past week, I would say most relevant, director level, maybe executive, mid to senior. Full time, I'll say hybrid. And if you see here, it says has easy apply. This is for people who want to just apply really quickly through the app or through the Indeed tool, which I don't recommend, but you can do it. And it says there are 0. So let's take some of this off and see if we get anything. Still says 0. Let's say past month, past 2 days. Oh boy, past month. Let's see the one that's there. So there's only one with easy apply. With the filters that we set up. And it's this position here. And if you go easy apply, this is what it looks like. You'll literally put in your information, your phone number. After you put in your information, you can upload your resume. Now, this is why it's important to make sure that you're doing that side-by-side comparison on the website when I tell you to do the side-by-side to see what your relevancy score is. I think I might have to take you guys to my live page. Let me hop over there really quickly so I can show you what this looks like. All right, so now we're on my back office of my personal page. I'm showing you this because it's a lot easier to show you something or the options on an active page rather than the dummy page. So the dummy page was good for setting up and showing you kind of what that looked like to set it up. But seeing my live page is going to be more sufficient for you to really understand how navigating LinkedIn as a candidate is going to look. So when I log in, I went immediately to the jobs tab because this is a full profile. And so it has my entire resume on it. So it already knows the things that I do. It knows my capabilities, my skills, my education, my training, all of those things. And it also has historically seen the jobs that I've been interested in, the jobs I've applied for, the companies I've followed. So as you can see, when you click on the jobs tab, it takes me to this page, which is my back office for applying for jobs. And it gives me top job picks for me based on my profile preferences, activities, such as the companies I've applied for, the searches I've had, and all of the positions or companies that I've saved. So based on that information, these are the positions that it recommends I apply for. And it also has a list of other positions that align with these. If I scroll down, explore companies that hire for your skills. So based on my profile, it has pulled this list together of companies that hire for people who have my experience, knowledge, education, background. And then jobs where I am most likely to hear from. So LinkedIn knows its clients and it knows those who are actively seeking, those who are contacting candidates, those who are following up with those who have applied, recruiters who are actively seeking and searching for candidates. And because it knows that information, it can tell you that these are the jobs that will more than likely contact you back if I meet their requirements and what they're looking for. They give me 3, but as you can see here, it tells me that I can see the whole list, which we're not going to go there. Then they have job collections. So jobs which are easy apply jobs, which means you just apply through the actual profile. But if you know me, if you've been following me for a while, you already know that my recommendation is always to go directly to the company website. So you can decide if that position is an active live position. Sometimes we don't always close them out. Sometimes we leave them open because we haven't had time to close them. So always go to the company website, but that's your decision. So if you want to apply through Easy Apply, by all means do so. It also gives you a list, or it will give me a list of remote jobs. Unicorns are those specialty positions, things that I might be interested in that nobody else is really looking at, or things that I might want to consider, and then more. But each one of these tabs, there's always going to be a show all option. So these couple of things that they show are not the only things. And then more jobs for me. And so based on, again, my profile, my preferences, background, activity is going to recommend these jobs that I apply for. Okay. Over here is where I set my candidate preferences, such as my salary requirement, whether I'm looking for a hybrid, remote. If I want it to be advertised that I'm looking for a job, it has a job tracker, which are jobs that I've applied for, jobs that I've saved, and then my career insights. I'm not going to click on those things because they are private, but when you set up your profile, go ahead and check those items out. Let's look and see what job we want to go look at. So for fun and giggles, let's look at this one. So this job is an easy apply job, which simply means I can apply directly on the website. Now, if you look here, what it's going to tell you is the location, how long ago it was posted. And you know, I say always look for jobs that are posted within the first 24 hours if possible. Less than 1 week would be ideal. But as you can see, it has over 100 applicants. That's because it's easy apply. And with easy apply, anybody is going to probably apply for those jobs because you just click the button and you apply. Ideally, this is why you would go to the company website to apply. Not everybody's going to be willing to go to the company website, but everybody will more than likely be willing to go through this process and do an easy apply because it's not really doing an application. Now, there is another company I know that is hiring, and let's go find that job just for fun and giggles. If you know, you know. If you know, you know why I'm using this company. So this job is hiring, this company is hiring for a regional HR manager. They posted this job 6 days ago, and as you can see, it says only 57 people clicked apply. It's not easy apply. So anytime you see apply with this arrow, that means that it's going to take you to the company website where you would fill out that application. It also gives you the salary range, whether the position is remote, on-site, or hybrid, and whether it's full-time, contract, or part-time, etc. So that's here. If you click save, it will save to that little area where I told you my private information was. It's going to save there. It's going to do your applicant tracking, or job tracking is what it's called. And then, as you can see, it tells me that I would be a top candidate and more likely to hear back for this role. So this essentially does a match comparison similar to my AI strategist tool. The difference is this is only matching with whatever you have listed on your LinkedIn profile. So unless you're updating your profile every time you apply, it's probably not going to be as close as if you actually use my strategist tool, do a side-by-side comparison, get that relevancy score up, and then go to the website and apply with your application or apply with your revised resume. That's going to automatically make you ping a little higher than just updating your skills, which is what this system is going to tell you to do. Next, now, this is why I tell you that it's important to make connections with the companies you are interested in working with, finding those recruiters, reaching out to people who work at those companies. Because if you know someone who works there, it's easy for you to reach out to these individuals and say, hey, who's the recruiter for this role? Or, hey, I'm interested in this job. What do you know about it? Can you tell me about the culture? Can you tell me why the position is open? This is where you get your insider information to know if this is really a company, a job, a position that you should be applying for. And of course, down here is your job description. And this is where I would tell you to copy and paste into that strategist tool, do a side-by-side and get your relevancy score up. So those are the two types of jobs you'll find: easy apply and then website apply. Not every job is going to give you this information. Some of them won't, as you can see. Here, they don't give you a salary. But what we learned is that this was posted 4 hours ago and only 3 people clicked apply. So only 3 people used this link to go to their website and apply. Does not mean that they didn't go outside of LinkedIn, go to the actual website and apply. It's just tracking how many people utilize this website or this tool to apply. So it's going to be the same no matter where you click, but I will always recommend that you go to the actual company website. You can search jobs that have under 10 applicants. So 3 days ago, only 7. Probably because there's not a salary. I don't want to speculate. It says that my job match is medium. And then it's asking me, do I want to view the details? I'm not interested in this job, so no. And of course, it's going to be medium because I don't have this type of experience. But all of this is relevant. This is probably going to say low. Let's see. Exactly. Job match is low. So I don't have experience with this. So this is not going to be something that LinkedIn would recommend for me. Let's go to easy apply. And just because it's on easy apply doesn't mean that you can't go to the website. Again, I will always recommend that you go to the website to apply for these roles. But I wanted you to see what it looks like once your profile is set up and you're actively engaging with people, what that looks like, so that you can know how to kind of navigate applying for positions. You can also search by location. There's plenty of filters you can use to search through. It's just going to really be up to how you navigate the system and what works best for you. So this is that part. So in the last part of this video, I want to talk about really how to increase your engagement and your activity and your networking on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn rewards activity. If you are not active, it will not trigger you to apply for those positions or show you any open positions in the same way that you saw my profile look like when we went to the jobs tab. You have to be actively engaged in order for the system to know exactly what it is you're looking for and how to assist you in finding that. So in this third video, we're going to move from profile setup and knowing how the back office works to really creating an active strategy. We're going to talk about why engagement on LinkedIn matters and how the algorithm works, how to network with intention, not just collect a group of people, and then how to post without pressure, because although this is a social media platform, it's still a tool that you and the recruiters will use to connect. So by the end of this video, my goal is that you walk away with at least one item that you can action in order to get yourself a little closer to the job that you want to land. All right, so let's talk about engagement and what that actually means. Now, on TikTok and other platforms, engagement is really how many times you post, how many calls to actions you put out, how many people you engage with, comment on, things like that. None of that matters with LinkedIn. You still need to engage on the platform, but it's really about the way the algorithm picks you up and services your profile. Engagement is not just about posting, it's really about commenting. So, following those companies, those recruiters, individuals who have influence in your field, commenting on their posts, attending webinars, connecting with people who are sharing insights that matter to you. If you do attend webinars or seminars, connecting with those presenters, following their pages, gaining insight, commenting on their posts, and not just commenting with thumbs up or hearts or just saying this was good. You need to actually comment and give feedback if you're going to do it. Now, of course, I don't expect you guys to just hop in feet first with all of this. Take your time, build up to it. Look at other people comments, look at how they comment, and you'll see the pattern in what I'm saying. You'll notice those who leave really quick comments versus those who actually offer insight on comments. And LinkedIn does have a tool built in that will help you create a comment with insight. You want to make sure that you're responding to others who are commenting. That's how you build networks. That's how you connect with people outside of your network. That's how you connect with those who may have insight into jobs and companies that you're interested in working for. You don't have to post every day, but you do want to post occasionally. And then make sure that when you connect with someone, you are being intentional. You do not have to become a content creator to benefit from LinkedIn, but you do have to participate so that the algorithm can pick up what it is it needs to do in order to serve you better. If you comment thoughtfully on posts that are on those companies that you're following, those companies that are within your industries, recruiters within your industries, people will begin to notice you. Remember in video 2, the lady showed us that recruiters can see if a person is actively engaged with that company's LinkedIn page. It matters. So when you connect with those companies, make sure that you're posting, liking, commenting, and just engaging with the post and with the people and with the recruiter. And when people see your name and they click on your name, they'll go to your profile page. And that's why it's important to make sure you follow the steps that were discussed in video 1. So most professionals are silent observers. That's not going to really help you here. You can be silent on TikTok, you can be silent on Facebook, but on LinkedIn, visibility matters. And visibility comes from your participation. So you want to make sure that you're being active. I'm going to move into networking now because I know that's a big part of this for a lot of people. So networking on LinkedIn has to be intentional. There will be tools available on the website to help you navigate this part because not everyone is comfortable just reaching out to random people, to strangers, even if it is about a job. So there will be tools to help you with this portion of the training. Okay, I want to talk about collecting versus connecting. So collecting is just sending someone a connect request and there's no context. You're not telling them exactly what it is you're connecting for. And it happens. But remember, the word for this year is being intentional. We want to be intentional. We're not just collecting a bunch of people to show that we have a bunch of followers or a bunch of people that we are following. We want to be intentional. We want to connect with people who matter. We want to build a network. So when you send out those connect requests, make sure you're putting the context in the message. Hey, saw your post over on such and such page, thought it was great, had a couple of questions. Let me know if you have time to chat. Real simple. Or, hey, I saw you attended this webinar. I was there too. I saw your comment when they mentioned XYZ. Thought it would be great to connect with you just to get, some insight into that detail or that information further. However you word it, it's just really just a message and letting them know what your purpose in connecting with them is for. Again, there will be tools over on the website to help you with wording. So who you connect with matters. Your network influences the opportunities that reach you. You have to think about the professionals that you've come into contact with, even jobs and roles that you've applied for that you've not gotten prior to creating your LinkedIn page. Go back, find those companies, especially if you were interested. Find those companies, follow those pages, find the recruiter, follow the recruiter. You can also reach out. Hey, interviewed with you back in April. Just wanted to touch base and see if you had any positions coming up. It's just a message. It's just an email. Worst case scenario, they're too busy. They probably won't reply. But at least you put yourself out there. And if they do reply, it could be that they have something that you're looking for. This is why who you network with really does matter. So you have to think about everyone you've come into contact with, all those companies you've applied for. Even when you apply through LinkedIn, it's going to ask you if you want to follow the company page. I would say only follow the pages that are relevant. If they're not relevant specifically to the industry you want to be in or the job titles that you want, I probably wouldn't, because if you apply to a lot of different companies, that's a lot of companies to follow. And now you're just clogging the network. You don't want to clog your network. You want to do things that really matter. You want to be intentional, because networking is not just about asking for jobs, it's about building professional visibility. That's what you need to do. Now I'm going to talk about posting really quickly, and then I'll wrap this all up for you. So a lot of professionals avoid posting on LinkedIn because they would rather be spectators. LinkedIn it's a professional platform, but you don't have to be an expert in your field to post. Some people look at LinkedIn like it's this high and mighty or highfalutin social network that you have to have all these credentials and all of this. It's not really, it's not that. It's a regular social media network. It's just geared towards professionals. Posting on LinkedIn is very simple. It's not like TikTok. You're not having to post every day, but you do need to post. LinkedIn values your perspective more than your perfection. There are a lot of content creators on LinkedIn, and there are a lot of professionals who you'll see posting multiple times a day. You don't have to do that. It's not that deep. And really, you're here just to network and build those connections with people who can get you the job that you want with the companies that you want. So the key is to shift your mind and just know that you don't have to be perfect in what you're posting, but it does need to be a little bit relevant to either the companies you're interested in or the industries that you're interested in. You want to make sure that you're posting something that's relevant. Now, you can talk about lessons that you've learned. If you read a good article about the industry that you work in, anything that you saw in the news that's relevant to your industry, any certifications that you receive that are relevant to the job you're looking for, things like that. So keep it professional, keep it cute, stay away from politics, stay away from religion, focus on what it is you're trying to achieve in your career. So this is my 3-step framework for posting. I post about what it is I learned, what I observed, or what I realized within the last week. What happened to illustrate this? So usually you can give an example of what happened, what led to that thought, what led to the realization of what you learned, and then what your audience should walk away with. Sometimes that's a call to action. If you want to increase engagement, you can ask them to comment if they experienced it, give them your story, or let them give you their story. So those are some options that you can do. But it doesn't even have to be this deep if you're not comfortable with it. But literally, this is how I create my posts. It's very simple. You don't need to post every day. Again, once or even twice a month is sufficient enough to build presence on LinkedIn, because it's not like TikTok or anything else. It's really just a tool that's used to help you find the job you're looking for. And engagement matters. And when you combine engagement, networking, and a strong profile, you'll walk away with the best results. That 3-step process is going to help you to create momentum. You'll start to get comfortable. You'll start noticing that your posts are now stretching out a little longer. Your profile will help recruiters to find you. Your engagement will help people to recognize you, and your network will help opportunities reach you. So everything you're doing is for the intent of being visible. Now, I keep saying you need to be visible, but LinkedIn is not just about chasing visibility. It's about positioning yourself. And positioning is the word that I use the most in video one. You have to position yourself so the right people can find you. And that's what engagement will do. So when your profile is aligned, your language is clear, and your presence is consistent, LinkedIn will stop feeling like a mystery. And you'll start reminding yourself that it really is just a tool that you use to lure recruiters to your page, or a tool that helps recruiters find you. It's only a tool. So that concludes this part of the LinkedIn strategy training. I hope you guys got something from it. I hope I was able to give you a little more insight into how to navigate LinkedIn as a tool, not just a social media platform. And I hope that you begin to integrate some of these things I've discussed into your day to day function of looking for a job. I hope you're able to utilize some of these things in order to help put you in a better position to find the job that you want, or to help the recruiter locate you where you are. If you have any questions, shoot me over an email. I'm available and I will respond. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.